What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. We have just 2 game weeks left of FPL Game Week 37. The last double of the season starts in less than 24 hours. Today, we're having a look at my team selection. What is up, everyone? FPL Harry here. Today it is a Game Week 37, double Game Week 37 team selection. We'll be having a look at any potential transfers, any news we've got, what I think I'm going to do with my team going into this week. Before we dive into the video, make sure you smash that like button. I'm going to try and hit 1,000 likes on the video and subscribe if you have not already. I'm recording at full time in Brighton versus Newcastle, 4-1 Newcastle. Wilson getting 24 points this week with another goal and an assist, and me with Isaac as captain, 7 points, double to 14. It would have been okay if that game had ended 2-1 as it was at 90 minutes, but unfortunately the red arrow came, it turned from green, it turned to red, with Wilson getting those final points. If you captained Wilson, congratulations. Congratulations on the mega haul for your captain, or just whether you've owned him this week, either way. I got 99 points this week, 1 point away from making it into the 100 club. It did give me a red arrow of about 100 places. I was up to about 220th in the world before any of those late Wilson points, but it wasn't meant to be. Looking at my team, Ederson came in. I started Kepa, but he of course didn't play, so I got Ederson's 8 off the bench. Defensively, things were good. Botman I should have benched for sure, but I was never really planning on doing that. Estupiñán 17, Trippier with 11, 2 assists tonight was my vice-captain. Trent Alexander-Arnold with a 13, so big returns at the back. Midfield, the Brighton midfield duo continued to disappoint. I need them to do something against Southampton in Game Week 37 because I don't expect much against Man City, and then Aston Villa away on the final day is difficult. They've not been good recently for all of us. Mo Salah 12, again happy with him. Fernandes 6, he continues to look so good but not actually getting any returns. Haaland with a 7 in his single, and then Isaac up front getting 7 double to 14. 2,558 points overall. It is a red arrow. It is a disappointing end to the game week, but 2 weeks left. Let's look at how we're going to attack next week. So looking at next week's lineup and a bit of a discussion about exactly what I'm going to do with my team. I have $500,000 in the bank and 1 free transfer to spend, so I don't have to make a transfer this week. I could roll it going into next week, but if there's something I want to do to attack this week, given I don't have triple Manchester City, for example, I could end up making one. In goal, we're going to go with Ederson and have Kepa on our bench. I just am not certain that Kepa's going to come back into that Chelsea team, plus he has Manchester City and Manchester United both away in them. So whether he plays or not, to be honest, I'm not expecting very many points. We are going to start Ederson. Now, Ederson did get an 8-pointer, but it's worth bearing in mind, of course, Manchester City will win the Premier League if they beat Chelsea at home on Sunday, which means there could be a rotation going into the second game against Brighton, and we have seen Ederson drop out both this season and in previous seasons once the Premier League has been wrapped up. So there is a little bit of doubt in my mind about exactly whether he's going to play both games, but I am going to start Ederson over Kepa, and I have triple up on Brighton and I have triple up on Manchester United, so I can't go to De Gea or Jason Steele, who are the 2 other goalkeepers that I want to go to. Moving into defence, so we are playing a back 3 this week. Estupiñán with his double, Southampton at home. They lost to Newcastle. They beat Arsenal with an incredible performance, and the performances either side against Everton and Newcastle have been pretty poor. And we'll see what we get out of Brighton in both of those in their double. Trent does start next to him. Aston Villa at home. It's a single, but he continues to get attacking returns and some clean sheets as well now. So happy that he's in there. And then finally, we have Luke Shaw. I benched him this week. He's not going to be benched again this season. Back at left back. He might get 1 game at centre back, depending on how many minutes they want to give around. But either way, I'm happy with his attacking threat and his bonus point potential as well. This does mean, of course, Botman is on my bench. He's been very disappointing. The clean sheets are not necessarily nailed, so he's last on my bench this week. Kieran Trippier is the one that I'm finding a bit difficult to bench. Could I start him this week potentially? Some of my forwards maybe I could bench for him. Again, we'll have a look up front in just a moment, but Kieran Trippier is first sub for me. He hasn't made it into my starting 11 despite the 2 assists he did get tonight plus bonus points. Moving into midfield, so Salah is the only single game week player in my midfield. To combine with Trent, I have double Liverpool. They are better at home, but Aston Villa are performing very well at the moment. So I'm happy enough with Salah. Again, I could go and do Salah to the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, but I'm not certain that De Bruyne is going to play both games in the double anyway. So I'd rather Salah with a single than De Bruyne with a single and maybe a 50% chance of playing the second game. Then, of course, we have the double Brighton. I'm not expecting that much. Then maybe we can get some points at home to Southampton, but they're fading out this season with a little bit of a damp squib, if I'm completely honest. Yes, the performance against Arsenal was great, but from an FPL point of view, Matoma and McAllister have been very disappointing for me. Then we have Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford. These two are two I would be considering for a differential captain if you were looking for them. Bruno Fernandes likely to get that vice captain, but we have seen Marcus Rashford, of course, back in Manchester United training, so should be absolutely fine for the double of Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home. It's an okay double. Chelsea at home, maybe low scoring. Bournemouth away, we might expect a few more goals. So I am expecting some returns from these guys. I really need Bruno Fernandes to step up and not just put in good performances, but put in good FPL scores as well. And then we move up front and we get our captaincy and vice captain added in here. So Erling Haaland is going to be captain. He is leading the line. I think he's one of the most likely of all the Manchester City players to play both games in the double in game week 37. Of course, if they do wrap up the league, there is a chance that maybe he doesn't start the last two. He is chasing down a few records. He's broken most of the reasonable records that he might be able to break. Now he might want a 40-goal season, but that's not necessarily a record that he could go and target. So he's going to start and he's likely to be my captain. Bruno Fernandes is going to be my vice captain. As I said, if I wanted a differential point, I might even put my captaincy armband on him, but it'd probably end up on Marcus Rashford instead because he probably has a little bit more goal threat, whereas Bruno Fernandes looks great, but the FPL returns are not necessarily there. And finally up front, I am playing Isaac. Now, Wilson did play 90 minutes. Isaac got taken off about 5 minutes before the end. Is there a chance that Isaac goes through the middle? If he plays out on the left-hand side again, I don't want to own him and I don't want to start him. It's been a bad buy, but we didn't necessarily expect him to be stuck out on that left-hand side for as much of the games as he has been, with Wilson playing 90 minutes through the middle for practically all of both games in the double. Has Wilson played enough minutes that maybe we see Isaac go and start versus Leicester? If that's the case, Isaac against that Leicester defence, I won. But if he's playing out on that left wing, I don't love it as much. So I do need to decide on exactly where I think he's going to start. Solanke is on the bench. He does have Manchester United at home, but now Bournemouth are officially safe. I don't think he's going to get in my lineup again this season because I'm not certain that they're going to have as much motivation to play between now and the end of the season on the last couple of games. So it's Trippier versus Isaac. In terms of transfers, I did consider potentially adding another Manchester City asset, but I'd have to bench one of my 3 single game week players or sell a good double game week player, which I don't really want to do. I could do Isaac to Alvarez, but I'm not certain Alvarez starts both in the double. I'm not even certain he starts one, to be honest. He might get the Brighton game, but even if that's the case, I'm not that likely to go and buy him. It does feel like Trippier versus Isaac is the only thing I'm really deciding on this week. It is Isaac, the one I'm starting him, because I think there's an okay chance that he might start in that game at home to Leicester through the middle as the number 9. But we'll wait and see. That's the big decision. Haaland captain, Bruno Fernandes vice captain, 3-5-2 with Edison in goal. This is the last double game week before we have the chaos of game week 38. It is the second last game week of the season. Hopefully some green arrows because game week 36, the way it ended with Wilson getting that golden assist was, disappointing to say the least. But let me know what you think about my team. Would you chase something and do a transfer? We've only got 2 weeks left. Should I play it a bit more exciting and try and chase a few points? The top 100 looks a little bit out of my reach now, unfortunately, unless I go completely maverick. So if there's something that jumps out to you, drop it all in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think and any questions you have about your team as well. Do let me know. All of that, I read all of your comments and I answer all of them within the first hour as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you've liked and subscribed. Before you go, good luck in game week 37 and I'll be back again very soon.